Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Zomboid Taking the Prison. This is the third and final part. So on today's agenda, I am completely out of ammo except for a few 45 ACP rounds, so I need to head back into town and stock back up. Heading back past the front of the prison, it's not nearly as infested as it was on day one, so hopefully that bodes well for when we come back here later in the video. And now here I am at the police station. Unfortunately, this is a lot more infested than when I was last here, so I'm going to take advantage of the double-high fences and drive around the side to hopefully buy myself a little more time to get in before the herd closes in around me. Now, I can see here that I'm not going to be able to stop them, I'm not going to be able to fight them, or stop them from getting into the building, so my strategy now is to just jump in through this window, which I cleared earlier, run inside and basically get into the back before they can infest the building and hopefully just not see me come back here. And that'll give me a couple of minutes to loot and take all the stuff that I need. So now that I've loaded up, I'm going to slowly make my way out back down this hallway using the spear, which remember could break at any time, but it's also very good for insta-kills. You know, these things are not very durable because they're tied to carpentry, which is why it's really frustrating that I'm going to lose all this durability and make all this noise trying to fight these guys. I know there's a lot more around the corner, so I'm trying to get as much of a jump on them as I possibly can, which is not being helped by all this combat I'm doing. And I'm going to go to kill this one. And as I step in front of the doorway, I see this is not a door that I want to be standing in front of. It will not hold up as well as the structures in the prison. So I jump out the window, just barely get away from these guys. One, millisecond later, and they would have come through and tripped me. But now I'm going to get into the passenger side and climb over the seat so that they don't pile up on the driver's side. And just barely manage to tear out of there. That was a narrow escape indeed. And these streets are completely infested. I didn't want to kill too many outside the prison, but I'm going to show me killing the stragglers in the name of showing how many I've killed in total outside. That way you can adjust the number that needs to be subtracted from the final count so that we know how many we killed at the prison later. So here's my old base, the one I was living in. And upstairs is a nice stash, including an AK-103 assault rifle and some ammo for it. Now, in addition to the ammo that we got at the prison, I think that'll be enough to... at the police station, I think that'll be enough to carry us through the rest of the day. So let's get on out of here, show one more kill. Now we're going to be creating our next inroad into the prison, which is on the lower side, near the cafeteria, which we saw earlier. Let's just, kill the gatekeeper. I open it wide enough so that I can get my car in there for ease of resupply. And we just need to clear out this little yard. Thankfully, there's not really a whole ton of guys in here. And the katana, of course, is going to make short work of them. With the last one dealt with, we're now able to move into this room, and if it looks familiar, it's because we entered from the opposite side before. And we're going to use what's left of our 45 ACP ammo to start taking out what's on the window. With how inattentive they are to this, I don't think it's really necessary. At this point, I'm starting to think I could just come up behind them with a melee weapon. But it's just so much fun. This is a game where, in the base game, you don't really use guns a whole lot. Or at least I'm not used to using guns a whole lot, because weapons and ammo are so scarce, and even then you need a good aim level to really do anything with them. With British Weapon Mod, they're just so much fun to use. I really can't recommend it enough. So now here we are with the suppressed AK. We're going to be using that to clear it out, to clear out the windows from now on. Now, in the interest of saving ammo, even though I have plenty now, I'm going to use the katana. I'm taking peeks into these little rooms here because I want to make sure that nobody is going to come in behind me when I advance down this hall. Still some guys outside on the windows. Those are something that we're going to have to take care of later. Some of those exterior fenced areas are a little bit tricky to get to, so I'm going to have to puzzle out how to get to them. Or I can just shoot them from the other side of the fence. I'm also going to be doing a lot of that. Coming down this hallway, I'm just going to check the sides here for enemies, and here we are in the first of 2 cell blocks, and thankfully, this one doesn't seem to be anywhere near as infested as the other one on the top of the map. It looks like in this one, and now that sound indicates that I have opened the door with a key, which means that that house key that I salvaged earlier is the correct one for the prison. I'm just going to take a quick look up here, and I'm very encouraged. I come upstairs, this area that I've never been to before, and there's no zombies up there. Before I head back and clear out that cell block is minimally infested, can't talk today, as it is. I'm going to walk through here, and we're going to come back into familiar territory, leading me to the belief that, yeah, I think this entire back half of the prison is basically cleared. So I'm going to use this fountain to fill up my water bottles once again. And we're just going to have a quick silencing of these Zeds. Because remember, the sound of them banging on windows, even if they're pretty far away, does contribute to my anxiety, which reduces my accuracy. And don't think I didn't see that guy get back up. I didn't see it at the time, but I do see it here in the post-commentary. I'm going to come up and I figure I can get these guys with a spear more easily, because it's a little longer, but it's a piece of crap and it just breaks, so I end up just using the katana and my own boots to clear out this cell block. Luckily, there's not too much of a threat. But when we come to this last cell, which has the most zombies in it, we're going to have a bit of a heart stopper, where one comes in behind me. Luckily, he was the only one, because my big fear was being in one of these cells and having a bunch of them just pour in behind me. And yeah, I'm going to take a quick look around this top floor, because this is my first time really entering an upper floor. And with the exception of that one zombie, we're going to find this place is pretty empty. This is incredibly encouraging to me because it means that I really have been making progress, even though in the first video it seemed like I didn't move at all. That's because all the zombies that would have been up here have been moving down, attracted by the noise of gunfire and combat, and they're not up here anymore. I don't have to worry about getting attacked up here. Of course, I'm still going to be very, very cautious. And of course, this is the first big loot grab of the game. There wasn't a whole lot in the kitchen, but there's actually a lot of food and meds in this infirmary, so this is a really, really good grab. I'm just slowly making my way through these dark, narrow halls, but I don't hear a whole ton. There's definitely zombies around me that I can hear, but as I come forward to visitation, which is going to signal that I'm near the front administrative area, I'm still not seeing any zombies through the windows. Before I enter the cell block, I'm just going to handle some of the guys pounding on the outside, which is going to be one more yard cleared. That guy is it just me, or did that guy have, like, super green skin? Maybe it was just me, I don't know. But once we deal with this, I'm actually getting tired now, so I realize now I actually have to sleep before I go and take the other cell block. I definitely want to be on the top of my game for this, so I take a little nap, and even though it's quite dark now, there's no time like the present. Oddly enough, I'm actually gaining weight. That's weird. But there's no time like the present to head over to the last stronghold of the dead, and that's the upper cell block. I expect there to be at least 100, if not 200 zombies in there. And as we get closer, you can hear that ungodly noise of hundreds of zombies just pounding away on the windows to their cells. I'm really nervous about going into this because these 3 windows in this door, that's the only way in and out of this cell block. So if they all start pouring out, really the plan is to just expend my magazine of ammo and go down fighting, because if I'm in there and they come in behind me, or they all start coming out of the cells, there's not going to be a whole ton I can do about it, and I'm just going to get swarmed. And it's just going to be a matter of killing as many as I can. Right now what I'm doing is I'm clearing out these windows because I want to make some noise so that as many attentive Andys will come out as possible. And yeah, there's one behind me. That's exactly the kind of thing that I'm really afraid of right now. And I'm going to keep doing this dance where I lure them out and keep checking these back hallways, because the last thing I want is to get pinned in here after I've come so far. I don't know why that one just doesn't react to me. But now it does, and he's bringing friends, which is absolutely fine by me. I kind of have to pay attention in 3 different directions right now, because even while I'm fighting these guys, I have to watch those 2 back doors. So I just keep doing this dance for a little while longer. I'm going to play it on 4 times speed. And these are all the loose guys. I'm actually very concerned about this cell block because it does have an upper level, so just looking down this hallway and looking at all the doors that are open or closed isn't really enough, because I could always be having guys dropping down from above. I have a safety cigarette to prepare me to come in here and fight what's in the cells, but the noise is so great that it just elevates me to maximum stress right away. So let's start this thing, and with my suppressed AK, I take a shot, and it immediately jams. I unjam it, come back, start firing again, and once again it jams. Now, I could have sworn that I had checked this thing beforehand, and now that noise, even though it's suppressed, it is going to bring some guys after me. I could have sworn it was in good condition, but it must be in pretty bad condition, or I don't know if it's just a feature of the gun or what. But what we're going to see is that this stupid AK, despite performing pretty well when I first started using it, is going to be jamming constantly. Might as well rename it Bob Marley. But I'm going to come in with the katana to finish off this cell block, because there's only a handful of zombies left. I don't know why I'm not able to stomp this one. Sometimes the hitboxes are a little bit buggy when they're on the ground, even if the green indicator is there. But another infested cell, and I'm going to take out my AK and start shooting, and it's going to jam just again and again. And once again, I'm going to finish this one off with the katana, because there's only a handful left. I'm actually kind of curious if maybe anxiety contributes to the likelihood of a gun to jam. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, but it's just because this thing... Yeah, there it goes again. It's just because this thing performed so well when I first started using it, and I doubt it would have degraded that much that quickly. Especially for how long I was using the M4. This thing is worthless. I really don't want to do it, but even with this many zombies, I'm going to come in and try to take them little by little with the katana. So you're going to see I do this dance where I move in, take a swing, and immediately start backpedaling so that I'm able to run off if I need to. Because you remember what happened with the window in that other place. Before I continue on to more cells, I'm going to take a quick look up above on the catwalks, because they can actually climb over the railings and start raining down from above. So if there's a lot of them up there, that can be a serious, serious threat to me, and I'll never see it coming. But what follows is, instead of an epic battle, really more of a tedious slaughter. The interesting thing about zombie fights is that it does really come down to a control issue. It's less about, brute strength and skill, and more about just being able to control the flow and having a plan and knowing how you're going to do this. It's almost like Factorio for death. I'm glad they're so inattentive, but the whole time, in the back of my mind, all I can think is what happened with that window in the common room, where they all just exploded out like a swarm of hornets and almost killed me. So now we're on to the final majorly infested cell. I think the reason they're all piled up on these windows is because I was out there a few days ago in-game killing zombies. And I almost get taken from behind. Luckily, it's kind of stupid, and I was paying attention for exactly that. But I'm a little paranoid from now on. Not that I... really even more paranoid than I was before. But we're going to finish clearing off this window. And this one kind of is a trophy. I kind of want to savor this moment as the last big pocket of the dead is cleared. And also, I may want that bulletproof vest later because they do actually provide pretty excellent protection. And slashing at them with weapons tends to tear a hole. Unfortunately, it looks like it just kind of did. But, once again, all that's left is to tediously clear out the individuals that are remaining in cells. And that is this cell block done. And I think that's the last remaining big group. There's still the matter of those guys outside, but they should be a lot easier. And as I'm exploring the back rooms, I actually find a case with a surprising amount of guns and ammo. So this is a pretty good find. There's even a box of 7.62 rounds, which I can use to reload my AK. And as I continue to explore, I'm not finding anything. I expected this to be a really tough fight all the way through, but instead now I'm just inserting rounds into my 22 LR so that I can go to the front and finish where we started. I plan to use the 22 to clear out all the loose zombies behind fences. And thankfully, unlike the beginning of this series where they just absolutely were swarming this front parking lot, we now have just a light trickle. I guess I was bringing in zombies from all the way back here when I was fighting in the back. And I'm kind of making a concerted effort not to kill this one prisoner zombie in the grass because I see he has a cool-looking axe embedded in his back and I don't want to lose him in the grass. So I'm going to lead him out onto the pavement so I can kill him here. And I'm going to search him, and the tactical axe. That must be something that Brita's weapon mod adds. I thought it only added guns, but I guess it adds a whole bunch of melee weapons too, including this katana and that machete I was so fond of. Slowly but surely, I finish clearing out this front parking lot, and I decide I'm going to put this 22 to use on clearing these guys from beyond the fence. And wow, this thing sucks. I'm getting these hits, but they're just not dying. Yeah, I don't know why that is. And in the 10 or 20 rounds that I end up expending on them, I don't think I kill a single one, and they end up climbing through the administrative building, and I end up just dispatching them with my katana just like everybody else. So now we're going to finally move up on the administrative building. This was supposed to be the first target, but instead it's kind of the last, because I was kind of chased away from the front on the first day. And as I'm coming up and clearing these windows so that I can run through them in an emergency exit, I'm not seeing anybody, and I'm hardly hearing anybody either. I'm walking through these back offices. There's some bodies of zombies that I didn't kill. And it's so weird to see such huge areas with just nothing in them, so pristine after all the carnage we've been through. I find one locked in a bathroom. And here's one banging on a door. I don't think I've ever actually seen a crawler bang on a door before this one. Until now, I actually didn't know they could do that. I don't know if that's like a change they made recently. And I find a water bottle in the trash that's going to help fuel me as I go. And another water cooler, which I think always start fully filled, and it's actually quite a lot of water that they hold. And we make our way to the second floor of administration, and I think this is where all our so aggressive roof zombies were coming from. I think they were exiting through this door and all coming out to this rooftop and falling down to attack me, attracted by the noise. Now there's a bunch of them banging on the windows down below, outside of the cell block, and for whatever reason, I can't seem to aim at these guys. I don't know how that works. I know you can shoot from second floors, but I'm not entirely clear on the mechanics of that. So once again, I'm going to use the AK and tediously take them out little by little. It's still jamming, but I'm not really at any personal physical risk right now. Now all that's left is to pick off the stragglers. That's kind of the story of my life right now, is just wandering through and picking off whatever stragglers I can find. It's all but done at this point, but the thing about Project Zomboid is that all it takes is one bite to do it. All it takes is that one bathroom zombie, as many a player can attest to. Now all that's left is the staff area at the front of the prison. This is the building that I was in front of in the beginning and they all started pouring out of. And I can hear them smacking doors and windows. But encouragingly enough, it doesn't sound like a lot of them. In previous attempts, I've never actually succeeded in taking the prison before, even in earlier, easier builds, much less Build 41, where the combat got a lot more difficult. But I've always found that the second floor of this building is quite infested, but that doesn't seem to be the case now, or I'd be able to hear them. I'm just being overly cautious, clearing out the front because I don't want anybody coming in behind me. And I'm starting to get tired, but I'm so close I can taste it. I see a little zombie trapped under the stairs there. He might be the sole survivor of this operation after this is all done. And there's one in this little storage area. I'm gonna kill you. And wow. Wow. And now I'm wondering, are these all going to be like this? They are. This whole big storage room, just full of containers, and each one is stuffed to the absolute brim with high-level weapons, ammo, accessories, attachments. This is an absolute gold mine. And between this and the infirmary, certainly a worthy prize to claim for all the work that I did. And all the effort expended and all the times I almost died trying to clear this place out. And that's you dead. And as I approach this final door, I'll kill this one zombie. And with the exception of the guy living under the stairs, I consider the prison cleared. And I claim my prize. This is all mine. And my total number of zombies killed is now 1,514. Subtract 480, bringing our total kill count at the prison to 1,034 zombies destroyed. 300 more than I initially thought there'd be. So if you're still with me after all this, thank you for watching. It was certainly a fun ride, and I will see you in the next video.